In this video, you're going to learn how to solve systems of equations by substitution. We're given in two equations, y equals 3x plus 2 and y equals x minus 2. Basically, solving these systems is a three-step process. The first step is to solve for y for one of the equations. Well, in this particular example, it's already been set up to do so that we have y equals 3x plus 2 and y equals x minus 2. So one of these equations is already solved for y. And actually, both of these equations are solved for y, but we only have to do for one of them. Step 2 is what we're going to do is substitute the first equation into the second equation to find x. So let's take y equals x minus 2, and what we're going to say is that this y is going to be equal to 3x plus 2. So let's erase this y, and what we'll do is we'll write 3x plus 2. Now we'll solve for x. So we'll subtract x on both sides. That leaves us with 2x plus 2 equals negative 2. We'll subtract 2 from both sides. Now we have 2x is going to be equal to negative, 2x is equal to negative 4. It's getting a little harried here. Okay, 2x is going to be equal to negative 4. And then we'll divide by 2. And now x is going to be equal to negative 2. So now what we're going to do, we've done step 2. Now for step 3, we're going to find y by putting the x value into both equations. So simply what that means is we will take y equals 3x plus 2, and we'll substitute negative 2 for x. This will be negative 6 plus 2, and that would be negative 4. So what we'll do here now is check to see if we get negative 4 again for this. So if we're saying that y is going to be equal to x minus 2, we'll say that y, and we're substituting now negative 2 minus 2, so y will be equal to negative 4. So when we solve for this particular system of equation, our answer will be x is going to be equal to negative 2, and then y is equal to negative 4. Let's go on to a second problem. This particular problem is a little bit more advanced. Here we need to solve for y for one of the equations. In the last example, it was already set up for y in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do here is I'm looking at these two equations, and frankly I am going to choose the one that I think is going to be easier to solve for and to put into y-intercept form. If I look at this here, I'm thinking that I'm going to be dealing with fractions, and sure, I can do that, but let's try to work with whole numbers as possible. So I'm going to use x minus 2, y equals 0. So I'm going to solve for y for this equation. So what I'll do is I will I will subtract x from both sides. So now we're saying that negative 2y is equal to negative x. I will divide by negative 2, both sides by negative 2. So now what I'm saying is that y is going to be equal to, this will turn out to be a positive x over 2. So now what I've done here, I've done this to make that I've solved for y for one of these equations. Now I'm going to substitute this into the second equation. So now I'm going to substitute by saying And I'll work over here. Originally we were looking at 2x plus 8y is going to be equal to 12. We're saying that y is equal to x over 2. So here we'll do 2x plus 8, and y is now x over 2, and that will equal 12. And now we're dealing with 2x plus 8x over 2 is the equivalent to 4x, and that equals 12. We combine the like terms. 6x equals 12. We'll divide by 6. And now x is going to be equal to 2. So now we've done step 1. We've done step 2. Next, we're going to find the y value by plugging x into both equations. So we'll start with this first one here, and we're going to say 2x plus 8y equals 12. We're saying that x equals 2. So this would be 2 times 2 plus 8y equals 12. 4 plus 8y equals 12. We'll subtract 4 from, whoopsie, pen is starting to act up again. This is what happens when it gets overworked. Okay, so here we're saying that this is 4 plus 8y equals 12. And I'll grab a little bit more room here. We'll subtract 4 from both sides. We have 8y is equal to, here it's going again, sorry about that. Let me just, system's kind of crashing here. We're subtracting 4 from both sides. 8y is equal to 8. So we divide by 8, and we're saying that y is equal to 1. So now that we found that y is equal to 1 here, we found for this equation, let's just make sure that this is true. So we're going to take the second equation of x minus 2y equals 0. We said that x is equal to 2. 2 minus 2y equals 0. We subtract 2 from both sides. We get negative 2y is going to be equal to negative 2. We divide by negative 2 on both sides. And so y will be equal to a positive 1. So we found the value for x, we found the value for y, and the answer to this systems of equations would be 2, 1.